Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome back to our YouTube channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine. Kisumu is also fantastic, as you can see. And maybe you could also let me know where you are watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, I have always opined on this platform that politics is a very interesting game. And politics is also a very dirty game. Mama Mboga is realizing right now how politics can be dirty. For those who followed the politics of 2022 general election, on the day William Ruto was submitting his official documents to IEBC for clearance at the Bomas of Kenya, he was accompanied by his close political associates. But in that group, there were two unique individuals. There was Pauline Waithira, Mama Boga, the only Mama Boga, and there was also Calvin Ochieng, a border guy. As fate would have it, those two individuals are realizing very late that they were conned by William Ruto. On that particular day, if you check the photos very closely, you realize that Mama Boga was actually given prominence on that day. Even Rachel Ruto was slightly behind her. Rigathi Gachagua, who was the running mate, who ought to have sat next to Ruto, is also just behind there. And Calvin Ochieng is also getting prominence. And this was a big day. All Kenyans were glued on their TVs just to watch William Ruto submitting his document. And that was not the first day Mama Mboga and Calvin Ochieng were being paraded before Kenyans. Mama Mboga was used effectively. In fact, if there's anything which William Ruto used effectively, was political propaganda. But Mama Mboga is now coming out clearly to claim that she's very angry and very bitter and has been disappointed by Kenya Kwanza. So I want us to look at why Mama Mboga is now coming out when already she convinced so many Mama Mbogas to vote for Ruto, and Ruto is now the president. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And for this particular video, guys, I want you to just give it thumbs up. Now, let us dive into the issue without any further ado. And let me play for you this short clip of William Ruto, because William Ruto used to tell Kenyans about political conmanship. Let me play this clip for you, and I want you to be the judge whether Ruto conned these people or not. Listen in to William Ruto very briefly.
Now, one of the other things that have come up is the whole thing of NIS. I heard you talk about it the other day. You've also written about it because these are issues related to the election.
Are we ever going to talk about the real issues of this election?
Yes, we will.
Or we are going to discuss
NIS
and the ministers? And let me tell you, Joe, let me be honest with you, with a lot of respect. I want to discuss bottom up.
And you will.
I want the people of Kenya to understand how is their life going to change. You know? Because, and let me tell you, the reason why I have taken time, for example, to go to every county and listen in what I am calling an economic forum in every county is because for a very long time we have made politics the business of the elite. My good brother, it's time that that ordinary Kenyan comes to the middle of the equation. And that is why this election is about the economy. This election, the face of that economy is that Mama Mboga.
Ambia kuhusu Kangangi Market. Yes. Na mimi naamini ya kwamba kuna wafanyabiashara wengi kama wewe. Yes. Ambao wanafanya kazi yao kwa mazingira kama hiyo ya Kangangi Market. Hata kuna wengine wengi wanatandika mali yao barabarani, mahali kuna jua, mahali kuna mvua. Wewe unapendekeza ya kwamba lazima tuwe na mpango wa kujenga soko mahali pazuri, mahali ambapo kuna maji, mahali ambapo kuna choo, kuna taa, na mahali ambapo ni pasafi mnaweza kufanya hiyo biashara yenu.
You are right, because Kiambu town ni center ya Kiambu county.
Yes. So wale wanawapatia pesa ya kuendesha hiyo biashara wanawalipisha interest ya juu
sana.
So ungependa kuwe na mpango ya serikali. Yes. Ambayo mnaweza kupata pesa, interest ya chini, alafu ndio muweze kuendesha hiyo biashara.
You are correct.
So kwa maoni yako Mama Mboga, kwa maoni yako, ungeona hii interest ya pesa ambayo mnatumia katika biashara yenu ni karibu interest ya kama interest ya ngapi kwa mwaka ndio inaweza kuwasaidia bila ya kuwafinyilia na bila ya kusumbuliwa na hawa watu wa kuwapatia pesa?
Well, kwa maoni yangu, badala ya hawa wanatukopesa pengine kwa wiki, kwa mwezi, wanakuja kuchota kila kitu na baki bila kitu. Watoto wanalala chini. Je, serikali tuko nayo na tunina imani tutaipata na tumejishikilia ya UDA, tunaweza itutengeneze vile tutakuwa na sako ya serikali ati kila mtu hawezi kosa na kulipa.
No, that is William Samoei Arap Ruto. And indeed, he was able to persuade Mama Mboga to support him.
Na sababu gani mimi na support Ruto? Kile kinafanya na msupport, ninajua life history yake sana. Especially kwa hii serikali amevumilia mengi sana. Ameteswa, matusi mengi sana, kila pahali ukienda ni Ruto tu, na hawajawahi jibu hata neno hata moja ati yeye aseme umenitusi na mimi nitakurusia hivi. No, kazi yake ni kuomba tu. Ya pili, kile kinafanya ni msapoti sana, anataka kuinua sisi wote tuko pale chini. Wenye wote wako na shida anataka kuwainua, na alionyeshana ananena ukweli. Juu kama mimi niko chini sana, sijasoma. Kuna wengi wamesoma mpaka madegree wamejaza kwa mfuko, lakini hata sasa siwezi taja klasi yenye nilifika. Juu mnaweza chagaa, lakini yeye hachagui maskini wala matajiri, wote anatuweka pamoja, na hiyo ndio bottom up. Akiangalia pahali yeye ametoka, alikuwa anachoma mahindi, alikuwa anachoma makaa, alikuwa anauza kuku. Kwa hivyo akiulizwa life history ya mahasula, anajua meaning ya mahasula. Hiyo ndio sababu inafanya nimpende. Kwa kuvumilia, uvumilivu ndio anajua kabisa. Hata ukimfanyia nini, yeye haweki rohoni mwake, anajua kusamehea sana 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 sana. Na ndio nampenda, ndio tunaangalia tukaona, especially ni vile nimeona, sijui baada ya mwingine, anataka kila mwana Kenya pahali popote alipo, kama ni maskini hana pahali anaweza kaa, hapo ndio anasigatia sana. Aone kila mtu ametoka kwa shida yenye ako nayo. na anataka kila mtu awache kulala na njaa. Kama ni tenant, mpangaji wa manyumba, anataka kuona huyo mpangaji hafinyiliwi na landlord, hafinyiliwi na maagent, especially maagent ndio walipewa mamlaka na landlord hawana la kusema.
That's political conmanship. But there was a particular event which I think is still fresh on the minds of Kenyans who used to follow William Ruto's campaign very closely. On this particular day, William Ruto was in Kiambu County. Remember, he used to have these county town hall meetings where he would listen to the people, their voices, and then he would respond. On this particular day, this lady sat amongst the crowd. And that's why I keep on telling you that politics is very dirty. This lady was just seated next to William Ruto. From nowhere, you know, Ruto was a deputy president, which means his security was being managed by the state. Then from nowhere, there was this Mama Boga who was able to sit just with the dignitaries, big men. This lady had these kabambe phones, you know, the Molika Mwizi. This lady would be seen moving from one big man to the other, taking their contacts. You know, I've attended rallies. It doesn't happen like that. I've attended several rallies. That Raila is there, Kalonzo is there, Martha Karua is there. Then you, even me, a person whose face is a bit known, you just walk and go there, you take numbers of these guys. Yeah? That's how Ruto alikuwa amepanga. He planned to con this kind of people. So the lady was so happy. Today, there's a story in the Standard, in the Nation, about this lady. She's very angry. And according to her, this lady believes that she marketed William Ruto through his propaganda, and that she has remained poor up to now, despite the fact that she was given that prominence, and that she no longer enjoys the power. You know, at that time, he would go everywhere. Yeah? And in fact, the saddest part of it is that even during the swearing-in ceremony, this lady was never invited. And she's also alleging that nobody is actually picking her calls. For me, that's not news to me, but it's news, and very bad news to majority of hustlers. So I want us to look at why this lady and many others are currently leaving William Ruto. Number one, I think it's about the expectation. What was their expectation? William Ruto made Kenyans believe that their problems were caused by Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta. Not only that, by handshake. Now he's the president. These guys are still seeing that their problems are still the same. These guys were promised heaven, but currently they are living in hell. So their expectations was that when William Ruto becomes the president of the Republic of Kenya, the first thing which was going to happen was that the cost of living was going to come down. For example, on this particular day, this lady spoke about the cost of unga. This has been a debate. Now we are going to prove it that indeed unga was never 230 the way these guys want us to believe. We went for an election in August. This particular event took place in June, late June. By that time, the cost of unga was 140. Listen to the lady herself.
You are not. And we are free in our free country. Sidio? Ikiwa sina, nifanye nini? Ikiwa unga siku hizi inatoka 140, hata wengi sana kusema ukweli, and nowadays hawakuli lunch. Onele sapa. Sidio? Kwa hivyo hapo nakuomba our dear lovely older brother hustler, utuangalilie hapo upande ya unga, kila kitu.
So I think the cost of living is taking a toll on this lady. And because the expectations were so high, she's now disappointed. Number two, I also tend to think that it could be political reality. The reality is now that William Ruto is now the president. Mama Boga is now Mama Boga, the real Mama Boga. The one who used to sell mbogas in that particular market. Let me just tell you what Itumbi has posted, which I think is a bit of irresponsible. Let me see if I can get it. Itumbi posted something about this lady. And, you know, Itumbi is the hustler spokesperson. This is what Itumbi posted. I don't know whether he has removed it. Now, Itumbi is addressing the nation that, dear nation Africa, this is desperate from your newsroom. But Mwendele, I have another 6 million plus names of hustlers who voted for President William Ruto and Rigathi. The president has given back through Hustler Fund, housing, fertilizer, and universal health care is on course. Above that, shows Pauline got 300K to stock a kiosk. Lakini si mmezoea headline to sell the paper. How you are saying, we will keep you on system ya facts. Now, this defense from Dennis Itumbi is actually what is now selling out Kenya Kwanza. The first thing is that they gave this lady 300,000, right, to stock. How many hustlers received that 300,000? The other thing he's talking about here is the Hustlers Fund. Hustlers Fund, as much as Kenya Kwanza and William Ruto wants Kenyans to believe it's a success, Hustlers Fund is one of the biggest flops in this country. In fact, it's going to turn out to be a major scandal. He's talking of housing. I mean, which housing is it to be talking about here? Because William Ruto is currently talking about housing levy to build houses. Which housing has William Ruto delivered? The fertilizer. Which fertilizer? How many people receive fertilizers? The truth is that fertilizer is a big scandal already. And Itumbi is also talking of the UHC, a project of Uhuru Kenyatta. Currently, even people with NHIF, most medical facilities are chasing them away. So it proves that indeed the reality is now here, not what they used to tell them. So Itumbi is going further to say that we went to the election knowing exactly who is voting for us and who will not. It was an effective campaign. Kwani Azimio has no idea who voted for them. Targeted campaign, data-led strategy, and spontaneous identification. By the time polls opened, we knew we were winning. So Itumbi is literally telling you guys that they conned these people by lying to them. So it's going to be very interesting. And Kenyans are telling you, at least fulfill this one. In moja tu. If you read that story on the Standard, you will understand. But I think the reality is now dawning on this lady. And the lady is like, even that Calvin Ochieng is still suffering. Number 3, in my view, is the Hustler Fund failure. You know, when this lady was speaking, you'd get the feeling that she went into this election with the hope that she was going to get free money. The first thing which happened was that Hustlers Fund there, then you are forced to get, you take some money, then a percentage is taken from you by force. So you don't receive it. So you apply for 5,000, you don't get 5,000. Then there's interest. Then there's that uncertainty. You get your 5,000, you go and buy mboga somewhere, you're not even sure of selling them. Because Kenyans are currently not having 2 meals, it's one. So it just proves that the Hustlers Fund is a failure. So if I were William Ruto and his team, I'd think on how to re-strategize for Hustlers Fund. And lastly, this lady coming out clearly shows that there is a growing rebellion against Kenya Kwanza, especially in the mountain. That is something which we can't argue about. So let us wait and see how all these things are going to pan out. Until that time, this is Le Makwiny. Bye-bye.